The Prime Minister's about to speak now. Let's take it.
Honour for me to have the legend, Michael Long, here with us in the Prime Minister's courtyard this morning. It was also a great honour this morning to be met by Jawa, the Yulnu leader from Arnhem Land, who gave me this, gave Michael this message stick to give to me from the people of northeast Arnhem Land. And I want to thank Jawa for the effort, and he acknowledged the message that comes from the great Yunupingu, who spoke about the fire being lit at Uluru and burning brightly. Friends, in 1927, Jimmy Clements, a Wiradjuri man, like our Indigenous Affairs Minister, a Wiradjuri man walked from Tumut to join with the Duke of York for the opening of Parliament here in Canberra, just down the hill. He was joined by another Indigenous man, John Noble. They were the only two Indigenous people at the opening of the Parliament. Police tried to remove Clements because he'd arrived after such a long walk from Tumut, dishevelled and barefoot. The crowd rose up and said, no, Indigenous people have a right to be here. What do they teach us? What do they teach us? Like Michael Long, they were prepared to walk a long way to meet us, to meet us. Our journey since 1788 is just a fraction of the journey that Indigenous Australians have had for 65,000 years. The fact that we share this continent with the oldest continuous culture on earth should be and is a great source of national pride. It is also a source of pride for us to the world. And on the 14th of October, we have an opportunity to say to the world that we're a mature nation, that we can come to terms with the fullness and richness of our history. And on October 14, we are being asked as Australians to walk just a few short steps. Michael just walked from Melbourne. I walked from just across the lake. He's walked a long way. I was asked and invited to walk a short way. That is what is going on over the next 4.5 weeks. That is the opportunity that we have, to walk a few short steps to recognition, to walk a few short steps to establish an advisory committee. That's what The Voice is, an advisory committee whose only power is the power of its ideas. If they're good ideas, they'll be accepted. If they're not good ideas, they won't be. Accepted by Parliament and by government. In order to get better results, if we do the same thing through the same method, in the same way, we should expect the same outcomes. We need to do better. And that's the lesson of Michael Long's contribution to this. So I say, let us walk together in dignity and unity. Any journey is, of course, about embracing something different. If you go somewhere you haven't been, it does embrace that. But if fear stops us from ever stepping out, we'll never get anywhere. Never get anywhere. We'll stay in the same place. Michael walked back in 2004. He got back from yet another funeral. And I've got to say, my friend Linda Burney, on too many occasions, I say, how you going? And she'll say, just got back from another funeral. Something had to change. So he set out to walk all the way from Melbourne to Parliament House in Canberra to get change on the agenda. Nearly 20 years on, Michael again has made this historic trek. He's walked again because nearly 2 decades on, with the best of intentions, the gap hasn't closed in so many areas. He knows that when governments do listen to people, you'll get better outcomes. And it is time for...
OK, that's the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, making his pitch to voters on the last day of Parliament today before the voters go to the polls on October 14 regarding the voice referendum.